Hey everyone, it's Craig.
And Katya.
And we're here to tell you about the delightful lifestyle that is Patreon.
Mm-hmm. You ever wanted to pay for stuff and get it?
Well, guess what? Now's your chance.
Perfect.
Because what we have coming up is pretty exciting. In addition to the hours and hours and hours of exclusive content waiting for you on the other side of that paywall.
Mm-hmm. There's so many digital shoeboxes to rifle through and wonderful morsels to stick inside your ear holes.
That's right. And the new stuff coming up, we'll be taping a very special episode of Movie Club with Miss Tracy Mandrell.
That's right. And we're finally going to watch a movie that I've told her about once or twice, Contact, starring Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey.
Mm-hmm. And then we're going to all watch it together and then record a very special movie club.
Mm-hmm.
And on top of that, we're doing a full regular episode with Laganja Estranja and a Patreon-only listener questions episode.
That's right, Mama. You want all that juicy, hot, sickening tea for your nerds, work, bitch, Versace house-style boots. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Worms, Mama.
Mm-hmm.
To be part of Patreon and also to get your comments and questions in for the movie club and Laganja episodes, sign up now at patreon.com/Katya and Craig. What is that again?
That's patreon.com/Katya and Craig.
A Russian ballerina, stomping on a bureaucrat, a perky suburban housewife who just got into scat. It's whimsically volatile.
I'm wearing edible panties.
They're frilly.
They're frilly and they're made from Concord grapes.
Please welcome to the stage. It is our very distinct and capable honor to present to you the complex multi-talents of musical sensation and worldwide global phenomenon known as Jake Shears.
Welcome.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. God, that's one of my favorite songs.
That's right. What's that from, for those who don't know?
For those who don't know, that is the Welcome to New York song from the Crocodile Dundee soundtrack, which the score from Crocodile Dundee is really one of my favorite scores of all time. It's actually a great record.
And fun at parties as well.
It is fun at parties.
Yes, indeed.
Is that Paul Hogan?
It's Paul Hogan.
And then what's the woman's name?
Linda
something.
Linda Evangelista. No, Linda.
Not Linda Cardellini.
Did they get married or did they got married?
They got married and they got divorced.
Oh.
And I think it was Hogan's like sixth marriage. He had another wife that he had divorced and married a second time.
Oh.
Yeah. He's a very interesting character.
They got a little gnarly, I think.
Yeah, I think all of his marriages, really went dark after a while.
I don't think they did it all. I think they just. I think they split amicably after a certain period of time because
different paths.
The flame of love sometimes just burns out on its own.
Yeah. I can see
It's
it being very
tragic.
tense in the Paul Hogan household for some reason.
I would enjoy, I'm just going to come out and say it, I would really enjoy having a screening of Crocodile Dundee 3.
What was that? Crocodiles in Space?
Crocs in Space.
Where was that one? Where did that take place? Was it?
National Gravity?
I'm not sure. I don't even know if it. I mean, I never saw it. I just remember when it did have a theatrical run. Unfortunately,
It did, and actually, I know way too much about it for not having
what
seen it.
do you know?
Well,
Yeah.
so the two writers that were hired to write the thing wrote this full script. They didn't want to do it, but they were kind of struggling in their career, right? So they got this gig, and then Paul Hogan was like, okay, I'm going to do a little rewrite. He changed, basically, if the scene was Hogan walks into the kitchen, grabs a knife, he changed it to walks into the bathroom, grabs a toothbrush. Changed nothing except certain words and locations. Then he tried to have the screenplay registered under his name. So for screenwriter credit, what happens is if you write something and you don't get screen credit, you don't get residuals, right? And you don't really get paid that well. So those guys had to take him to whatever writer court for the Writers Guild. And the writers won. And then Hogan appealed.
Oh my God!
They won again. He appealed again. And then on the promotional tour, he started just calling them out. So he fully went nuts on these guys. Oh, God. And yeah, they.
He seems like a really measured, reasonable person.
He does.
I mean, how much money is there for the residuals of Crocodile Dundee 3 is my question.
Especially after he owned Crocodile Dundee. He owned that. So he made at least 50% of the total profits of that and the second one. So he didn't need that money.
Would you have sex with him? that character.
I would have sex with that character.
You would, yeah.
I would. I mean, not now.
No.
But
then.
What kind of bar do you think you'd beat him in? Because there's quite a bar scene in Crocodile Dundee.
There's a horrible bar scene in Crocodile Dundee. But I think in the if I was in the Outback,
Okay.
Yeah.
like in kind of a dusty saloon or something, and Crocodile Dundee walked in, I'd let him throw it in me.
What if you bumped into him like on a busy street in New York City?
When he's still the fish out of water.
When
I
he's
think.
still the
It's
fish out of water.
Yeah, like it's the summer. He's wearing a vest with no shirt and he's got the knife.
I'd still probably
Yeah,
hook up with him. Yeah,
Okay.
totally.
Okay.
I mean, during that era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah,
I think
yeah.
he was really hot.
Yeah. I bet his penis is very like hard and hot. Hard and hot.
So the touch, you're saying, the temperature is
like
very...
almost sizzling.
Do you think? Do you think he takes Cialis?
I think he probably vibrates at a naturally very high
Yeah.
blood pressure. Yeah, like just like
So he may not need it.
yeah. I don't think.
Yeah,
he
he's
needs
a
it.
virile. He's a virile.
Yeah, he's virile. I think it's probably always hard.
He's a virile, angry man.
Yeah, it's always good. It might burst like a blood burst.
I get confused sometimes. I think he'd married Kelly LeBrock, but
Oh, no, that's
hadn't.
Steven
It was
Seagal.
Steven Seagal.
Yeah, another beautiful union.
Oh, okay. So okay, well, what about
God, let's have a dinner party.
so do this real quick. Marry, fuck, kill. Steven Seagal, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and Crocodile Dundee.
I would marry Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Okay.
I'd fuck Crocodile Dundee, Paul Hogan, and I would kill Steven Seagal.
Okay.
There's really no way that Steven Seagal doesn't get killed in that math, right? Or what about you? What about you, Brian?
I would kill Crocodile Dundee. And I'd fuck Steven Seagal, but this is back, not like now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But I'd definitely marry Jean-Claude.
Oh my God, he's so hot.
Oh, I love him so much.
I
Great
love
conversations
him
as
too.
well.
Yeah.
that's the thing.
He's a real he's a 3-dimensional guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bon vivant.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very nice guy. Not nice guy, but complex.
Very complex, very
complex.
driven,
Yeah.
very ambitious,
Yeah, junkie whore.
much like our guest.
Here I am.
You just finished a tour. You're just getting off of tour. What's
Oh
going on?
my God, I'm just finishing up one of the craziest years of my life. It's been insane. I did just finish a tour, and just jumped over to the UK and back, and I'm finally back in Los Angeles. Exactly a year ago, I was in rehearsals for Kinky Boots in New York. And
let's talk about Kinky Boots a little bit. You got a call out of the blue one day.
got a call out of the blue and just asking if I was interested, and got the job to play Charlie Price for about 100 shows.
Holy shit!
How many shows a week was it?
8 shows a week.
Damn.
Yeah.
You do any matinees?
Oh yeah. Matinees though were on the time of year that I did, because I went in January 8th is when I started the show, and when I went in, the schedule that they were doing was normally it's Mondays off when you're on
Right.
Broadway. You do 8 shows a week, but you do Mondays off. You
Yeah.
get Wednesday matinees and you do Saturday matinees, and then you do a Sunday matinee. So you don't perform Sunday or Monday night. So once you
right.
finish your Sunday matinee, you don't have to. You basically have 48 hours of being off stage.
Sure.
You got your nice little weekend.
You do, but not when I joined
No.
the cast.
No.
Oh, great.
We had 5 show weekends basically. So we would do Saturday and Sunday matinees with Wednesdays off. So by the time you hit Sunday night, you would have done 5 shows in 48 hours basically.
Yeah.
That's too much.
It really wore me out. I mean, I had the time of my life, but the exhaustion was kind of cumulative. It's intense. It's like it's full on kind of. It's an athletic endeavor.
You know what though? I think you should be a gay action star.
A gay action star?
Yeah.
God. I mean,
That's
I would.
not a bad idea.
I'd love
Yeah.
to. I'd
Yeah.
love to be
Like a Bond villain?
Sure. Yeah, but I mean, I think, or like I see more of it like a leading man type of thing.
Oh,
Like
sure,
a-
sure.
Yeah, don't you think?
God, I need to. Yeah, I would. I need to take some more
Viagra?
I would like to act some more. A few years ago, I could not act my way out of a paper bag.
Okay.
And I got a small stage role here in LA. Moises Kaufman cast me in Bent.
And that scene where you crawled out of the paper bag.
I crawled out of a paper bag on stage, and it was.
In a
and
diaper.
I realized I was like, I can do this.
We were so proud.
Thank you. I learned a lot from doing Kinky Boots, and I would love to do some more. And I shot a movie in September, which I can't quite talk about yet. But what was so exciting about shooting the movie was I was able to really incorporate everything I learned from Kinky Boots.
Yeah.
And it was it just I was
Well, Toby's here. He wasn't really uh-ohing about his movie role. He wasn't doubting that.
my dog is here as well, Toby.
Yeah.
And he's looking sexy.
His water was over there, right?
There was a small dish of a detergent left out.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We had some Tide Pods out as well. We were partying last night.
Do you get nervous when you're on set, or do you or is it easy breezy?
It really helped me with my nerves with being on stage.
Sure, yeah.
In my own concerts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was for the first couple of shows when I opened in the show on Broadway. When I first walked out on stage and said my first line. I was sitting there, I was like, and I was like, seriously. I mean, I was so scared, and I really, you have to somehow like you have to be like, get a hold of yourself now.
Good God, Mary.
Yeah, get a hold. And I was only nervous in Kinky Boots for kind of the first 15 minutes of my first two shows.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, when I would panic on stage, it was when I was too tired.
Yeah.
When I was
yeah.
exhausted,
Yeah.
I would really end up panicking because when you're really tired and your battery is just not all there, it's really tough to sort of catch up with yourself. I mean, it happened to me live on the BBC 2 weeks ago.
Really?
I was going to pull that clip. I can insert it anytime.
No,
I have it. So
What happened?
One of
What
the
happened?
worst moments of my whole life.
But it's not that bad. It's not that bad.
At least I fessed up to it. But I couldn't I had a panic attack basically on TV. I was just so tired. I was exhausted. I was on this political show and I was asked a very general question. I started talking and I was like, oh, I got this. And then just went down a drain. And
oh, no.
Also, you had just flown over right after the tour, so you were jet lagged.
I was insanely jet lagged. I was exhausted from the tour. I just shouldn't have. It was too much. But it was one of those moments where I was like, I started talking and then I was like, what am I saying? And then I was like, oh, 1.5 million people are watching me live on TV right now. And then I was like, everyone in the studio is looking at me. And then I went silent sort of for a second and like stared at the coffee. I remember just staring at the coffee table. It was so bad. And then finally I turned and I was like, I'm really sorry, but I don't know really what I'm saying. Or I was like, I'm really tongue-tied.
Yeah, tongue-tied right now. But the best is then you pause and you go, that's a really general question.
Did I say that?
Yeah, and then
I was like, I'm crashing and burning live on TV. Everybody, what's up, Mom? Hey,
sometimes in those, I would find it's like if I kind of lose my place or don't know what, I just bring up the Armenian genocide, and then everybody just shuts up.
Yeah,
and just move on.
No.
No.
That or Crocodile Dundee.
Yeah.
So the next time, be like, would you fuck Paul Hogan?
Yeah.
I should have said that.
Yeah.
I should have. Fuck talking about Brexit.
Dad, you talk about Brexit?
I mean, I didn't talk about Brexit. I don't know what.
Did you see the intro, by the way, before you came on? It was just a confusing thing where they're playing your version of Comfortably Numb.
Over Melania Trump.
Yeah, I don't know. I watched it twice. Could not figure out what the fuck they were talking about. And then it cuts to you and they go, so Jake, self-awareness. That was pretty much it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. It was it wasn't an easy night, and it was Thanksgiving night too. I was by myself over there and lonely and sad.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know. It was. I wasn't.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Happy holidays. But I went on from the show this year and went straight into making music videos. No, I put my book out in February.
Boys keep swinging.
You've done everything. What other boxes are there left to check?
I have this year. It's been like a lot of just dreams coming true. Put the album out in August. Went on my own tour. So
Now you're on this show.
it's been now I'm here.
This really is kind of the
pinnacle.
Yeah,
you can't get
so-
better than this.
yeah.
But isn't it funny how still doing all that stuff, I still have this thing where it's like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? You know what I mean?
I'm a loser.
Yeah,
I've only put out a book.
like-
went on a solo tour. Blah, 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 you know.
God.
I got to work harder. I really got to apply
Seriously,
myself.
I'm
Yeah.
so bad about that.
Well, because you drive yourself into the ground.
I do.
Yeah.
I burn myself out, and then I'm like, I
But thankfully, you don't have a meltdown after the end of that.
Well, there's time. You know,
there's a
still,
time and place.
and there's still
there's
time.
still time
to have
this
a
year to
meltdown.
have a
yeah,
Oh
meltdown.
yeah, plenty of weeks.
Yeah. I'm trying to think the last time I went into a rage. Have you ever?
Are you an angry
I'm sure
person?
you have. You ever gone into a rage?
I mean, not real. Well, like, not in my own, like, not without help from like lots of substances. You know what I mean? Like, not like as a person.
Well, they're very helpful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But are you an angry person? Do you have an anger problem?
I don't think so. But
But
do you think I don't have an anger problem? I
You
don't.
you fly into rages often? Twice a
No,
week?
but
3 times a week?
no,
I don't think.
like,
No, I do not think you have an anger problem.
It's every few years.
If you think of
I
like
think.
the image of you with the Manson eyes, and then like Jake Shears' anger problem.
Yeah, I do have Manson eyes.
Yeah. Well, when you're excited.
When I'm excited, my eyes get very big and crazy looking.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the problem about being single now is that I don't have a boyfriend to tell me when my eyes are too big because everyone else is, because with Chris, I'd walk into a party and be like, babe, your eyes. Like,
Really? What do you mean?
Like I walk in and I look like Barbara Bush or like Mimi Rogers, like
Actually, you're right. Mimi Rogers. That's
Mimi
way better
Rogers
than Manson.
has, she's got crazy eyes too.
Yeah,
so
hey, how are you doing?
I've definitely got crazy eyes.
And is that because you're excited or pumped up or just like a little like buzzing too high? Like what is that all?
I just have like full
You're
on
just
like
crazy.
Marty Feldman bug eyes that I've accepted it but I do have to in pictures I do like if you notice if there's any pictures you see of me, a lot of times I have like stoned looking eyes because I really relax them and
okay, right.
but I don't know how we got on that. But
anger problem.
Oh,
issue.
the anger
Yeah.
problem.
Yeah. I don't think you have an anger problem.
I don't think I've got an anger problem either, but it is, it is funny when I've had a couple rages.
Yeah.
And once they start, you can't I can't
stop
them.
No. Yeah. They have to see themselves out.
Even when you think you've wound down and calmed yourself down,
And another thing.
and another thing.
You know what else? Yeah.
Oh man,
That's the
it's
you have
just-
two dancing hands. The dancing hand in those moments is the hands going like
Yeah.
this. The dancing hand when he can't pin you down for dinner on Friday is the lower one.
Craig knows me very well. But I think that I think what really helped me get into those rages that I've had was probably was like tequila and then moonshine on the
there you go.
on the other side of moonshine. Moonshine will put the devil in me.
But doesn't the exhaustion though play into that too? Because those have happened when you've been
Tired,
frayed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It really is. Exhaustion is a real thing, and does a number on you. And that's one of the hard things too about not having my Scissors bandmates anymore because we were all going through the same thing as far as promo and all that stuff. And there's kind of nobody to raise the complaining red flag. There's nobody complaining. So it's and I'll just put my head down and really plow through. And
Sure.
I'm just that kind of a and then when it happens when you're exhausted, it's almost too late. You know?
Oh yeah.
And you
yeah.
don't necessarily know that it's happening. And when you back in the day or whenever when it's Mariah Carey has been hospitalized for exhaustion and dehydration. And everyone's like, oh, what? You can actually get.
I know. It's a real thing. It actually is a real thing. It is a real thing. I realized that a little while ago too. I was like, oh, she was really exhausted.
I take back what I said.
Yeah. She's not just a fat, lazy, pill popping whore. Yeah. Yeah.
And you've both though managed to figure out ways to deal with the exhaustion
how do you
stuff, right?
how
not
what's
working?
What's your strategy?
Not working. Yeah, not one. I don't have to do anything. I don't want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to do, I don't want to do most things.
Yeah.
So
and then you just don't
Yeah.
do them.
Yeah. I don't, cuz I don't really I had a lot of goals and I've done them all. So everything else is just kind of bonus at this point, and then the things would be nice to do. It'd be nice to do that and that. And if you can get to it, wonderful. If not, no big deal. I don't know. When I'm dead, I'm gonna be dead.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna be dead. There's my New York Times best-selling tome will be read for centuries. It was like, well, I'll be dead.
Yeah. So
great.
Yeah.
So good.
So why kill yourself now
Yeah.
in order to get these other things done?
Yeah. I mean, it's just whatever. Who cares? It doesn't. There's 1,700 billion people on this planet.
Yeah, I think about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It's all just a little drop in the
Yeah.
a drop in the fuck it.
Yeah. In the last year, what has been the most time off that you've had? Like really time off, like not have to do anything, don't have to look at an email or don't have to talk to anybody.
I've got some wonderful friends that took me to Greece for 9 days.
Oh, that's great.
Which was the best vacation I've had in a long time. I don't take vacations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I always wrap traveling into work.
Mm-hmm.
I never go someplace purely for pleasure.
Yeah.
So it was really nice, and it's something that I need to do, and it's just really hard for me to justify. I travel so much anyway. It's just like
Sure.
it's hard to justify getting on a plane and going somewhere just to relax. I mean, I do try to, for me, staying at home and hanging with Toby and is sort of a vacation, but I end up when you're at home I end up working anyway.
Oh right,
so
no, it's
like
and then you're always involved in like 3 things at the same time.
Yeah,
like when you were working on the album, you were working on the book.
did the book and album at the same time.
Yeah, at the same time, right? Which they always recommend that.
And
how long did it take you to write the book?
2 years.
Wow,
2 years, and it was a real. It was just like such a wild process that initially was not very fun.
Every single I'm telling you, like every single thing I've heard from every person who's written a book says it's the worst thing in the world. It's like and it's funny. Like they seem like the writing is like writing this book has been the most arduous journey of my entire life. But but I'm so glad it's done.
The first draft is horrible because you're just like, it's just the worst piece of shit you've ever read in your entire life. And you're like, this is fucking terrible. Good God. Also, because if you're doing a memoir, it's your own life, so you already know the story. So you're like, this is so boring.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Who cares?
Yeah. Who cares? Like you're writing stuff that you've already known for a long time.
Yeah.
So but once you get that out of you, once you sort of spit it all out and you've got that big blob, it starts to get fun. Editing is really where the writing comes in.
Yeah.
And it's a lot more fun kind of putting it all together. And also just deciding how mean to be to everybody. Like what are you going to spill? What are you going to talk about? How graphic are you going to be?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Do you have to contact people like or did the editors take care of that? Their legal
Well, Simon and Sister has lawyers up the yin yang.
Okay.
So what's really wild, I mean, the lady gets on the phone with you, like, this lawyer who, we had like multiple conversations, and she's like, so this guy Andrew in junior high, basically like you have to change everyone's like, you have to disguise people completely.
Sure.
So no one could kind of trace back to them.
For those who don't know the book, tell a little thumbnail sketch of Andrew.
What's funny is I can't even remember what I renamed a lot of people.
Oh,
in
sure.
the book.
Let's call him Marty.
But
Yeah.
Marty. No, there was just friends I was sleeping with in high school, and this is
Might have been an older friend.
there was I kind of had an older boyfriend in late high school. Here it is right here.
Yeah,
The book.
Well,
look at that. Yeah.
So it's a memoir. It's a memoir that takes place. Oh, and I love this book.
That's actually your copy.
It's
underneath the Fosse. That's your Fosse book. Yeah.
Biography is so good.
It's so good. You can have it back now if you want.
Oh, thank you.
It's only been about a year.
Thank you. But the memoir covers. I moved to New York in '99, and it's sort of kind of the millennium of in New York, and it ends in 2006. But the only person that I really gave to read the book was my mom, and the two people, and from Scissor Sisters Del Marquis, because there was information that I felt like there was just personal stuff that I sort of wrote about him
and a biscuit
and the two of us, and then the fact that we took Ambien together and ejaculated on British biscuits and then ate them.
Clotted cream.
And I thought that was maybe something that he should give the thumbs up on before I put that in there.
It's very gracious of you.
And he was so sweet about it. He loved it. And also, it was there's a lot in the book about just like basically during that time period and starting the band about just like me being an asshole.
Okay.
Sure.
And kind of part of sort of going through this whole time period was sort of reassessing what a jerk I could be.
Yeah.
You are very candid about that.
And you are a total jerk.
Well, it's
I mean, the way he behaved when he came in, right?
Oh,
I mean, you kept your cool, and I appreciate that, Brian.
But I can't. The energy is so grating. It's just
I give off a super negative.
Dark.
And then Toby's just brooding over there in the corner.
Skulking. No, it's really important to me to, over the years, I really feel like I've done my best to become as thoughtful and kind of a person as I possibly can be. And, at the same time, I look back at that time and I'm like, I did what I had to do.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure, there's no rule book or guide.
There's no instruction manual for it. And I was just like, I was doing
the Lord's work. Yeah.
I was doing what I had to do to Toby, get over here.
See, right now, you're doing what you have to do.
I was doing what I had to do.
Yeah, that's all.
I don't know.
You don't want to shout at Toby. You love Toby. But you know what? You got to do what you have to do.
I love my dog. I know when I'm really too drunk or fucked up when I start talking about Toby and crying.
Oh my God.
That's when it's time to put me to bed. I'm like, I love my fucking dog.
Was there something, I think I remember hearing a story, which I sadly wasn't a witness to, but there was a leather bar. It was like 11 a.m. crying.
No, it was like 7 p.m. This was just 5 years ago. I was with my buddy Aram, and I had been up. I'd thrown a big Monkey Island party and hadn't gone to bed, and I think I'd dropped acid at 6 in the morning or something, and went to Summer Tramp all day, and then we ended up at the Eagle. And I was, Aram and me were the last ones left, and I was just sitting at the bar, and I remember just being like, I love my dog. And then I was like, I gotta go home. It's time for bed. Party's over.
I'm shocked to hear that you stayed up all night too. That's really,
I know. It really is.
How old are you?
I just turned 40 in October.
Oh, congratulations!
Thank you very much. Yeah. It's. I'm super happy to be turning 40. I feel myself mellowing out to a degree in a nice way. I mean, I love to have a good time.
Tie on a hooter.
What's that?
You like to tie on a hooter?
Is that? Yeah,
it's an old-timey expression.
I like to tie on a hooter.
Yeah, we're bringing it back.
Absolutely. I like to tie on a hooter to my forehead.
Yeah.
And I do like to have I like to have a good time, but it's really important to me to to
balance
temper it and balance is. I'm a Libra, so I balancing that is really important to me, and I never ever want my work or my livelihood or my creativity to suffer because of that. So I'm very conscious about the impact that a big night out on the town is going to have on my following Monday or Tuesday morning.
That's why the holiday weekend parties have been so good.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, Saturday night was a mishap.
Well,
I mean, should we tell the story?
I think we should.
Yeah.
I think we should.
So I was at a friend's holiday party. I was
Previous guest, John Polly.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
John Polly. I went
Yeah.
to John Polly's house. I was really excited. I haven't been social at all. As you know, I haven't been social.
I know you've been locked in a
since
box.
I have
Yeah.
since I've come back. I mean, I have really been. I've worked every day since I have been back from the UK. I've just been in the studio writing, and it's just been stupid. And I really should have been taking more of a break, but I was like, oh my God, it's going to be like a house party with cute boys. And like, you know what I mean? Like maybe I'll make out with somebody, and also, my favorite DJ in the world, was playing at the Exchange that night, Tiga, who is a longtime collaborator. And, I live for a good Tiga set.
Mm-hmm.
So we got to John Polly's place, and a buddy of mine had, super, super, super diluted LSD, which is kind of the only way that I really like to take it, because I'm not like a tripper.
Yeah.
I like to, I like it for the daytime and festivals and rock shows, but sometimes it's fun just for like a little sparkle, like a sun,
Is that what it does? Like, because I've only taken like multiple hits of acid where like, the sky melts and it's like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So in its diluted form, the effect is like just
So it's a microdose. So you basically it's very just it's just like vibrational.
Okay.
Almost. You know what I mean? Like it
give
just
the world a little buzz.
Yeah, it just gives you a tiny little buzz that's like kind of like maybe you like maybe things are just a little bit more funny, you know. It's basically like it's imperceptible almost.
Okay.
Sure.
So I thought I was taking a microdose.
A diluted microdose.
It was a macro dose.
It was a macro dose. It turned out to be very, very, very strong LSD. And so I was just at this cocktail party, like,
Yeah, a lovely Christmas party.
Lovely
Lots of
Christmas
people
party.
wearing red. There's mulled wine.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
having having a great time,
A wholesome time.
And by the way, seeing people I haven't seen for the last year,
Right.
because I've been gone, and then suddenly I feel like my eyeballs are fried eggs.
Damn.
And I was like, oh God, I was like, I gotta get out of here. Like this is it.
And we bumped into you right as you were in pre-flight mode. Like you were sort of the plane was ascending.
I think, and you you were like, "What's wrong with Jason?"
Yeah. I was like, we couldn't quite diagnose what it was. I was like, it's not quite like what I've seen before, but I don't know. He's been working a lot. He's tired. And then we found out.
So you know what? I'm an old, I'm a war horse. I'm a battle axe. It ain't my first day at the rodeo. So like, in a scenario like that, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna have a good time.
Ride it out.
I'm gonna ride this out and just have fun. So that's what I did, and I ended up having a fantastic night. I had a really good time. I was probably unintelligible for about maybe 45 minutes of it.
That's not bad.
Yeah, no,
it's
it was
fine.
okay.
It's fine.
How long does a trip last these days? I remember like 6 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And you can't
And
sleep,
it's-
right?
No. I
No,
couldn't.
but it's definitely like Sunday, the colors are a little bit more, everything's a little still pretty vivid, and, with a thing that you can't do, before like, don't look in the mirror.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Just like, going to bed and like brushing your teeth, and it's like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So listen, even those who are really strict about their dental hygiene, just skip that step.
skip
One
the-
night
yeah.
off is not going to kill you, Mary.
Yeah,
Just-
exactly.
yeah.
Live a little.
Yeah, but one night into that mirror will kill you.
Oh,
No,
yeah.
it's you can I mean it's ghoul. You look like a ghoul.
Yeah,
looking
it is
back at yourself.
ghoulish.
Yeah,
It is ghouls and goblins in that mirror. Yeah.
Anyways, but that was my weekend, and you know what? I
Had a much needed
It was
Well,
Who?
I
No? What?
you decided that weekend to be gay. When did you decide to be gay?
You know,
Brian, can you not
sorry.
assume these kind of things? I mean, like,
I
really,
know,
like, we got him.
so
He's
sorry.
here and he's being lovely, and you just
know.
want to go and bash him with that.
I know,
like, it's
sorry.
crazy.
No, somehow I met I met a cute boy and a cute guy, and you know, brought him back to my place, and we like played records and talked. It was really sweet. I actually didn't. There was no sexual relations.
Oh, good. Yeah.
You know, but it was kind of just what I, you know, it was sort of
Sweet,
just what I wanted.
fun, yeah.
It was just a nice little late night hang,
Yeah.
playing some God, what was I playing? Some Joanna Newsom, and
Paul
it was
Williams?
really
Did Paul Williams make an
no,
appearance?
it was Joanna Newsom and like Ray LaMontagne. It was very kind of like
Oh, okay.
it was
Yeah.
very, you know, kind of easy,
Groovy
sound,
vibes.
groovy
Yeah.
vibes. Yes, exactly.
Fabfitfun.
Fabfitfun, you know, is fun, it's fit, it's fab. And you know what else it is?
What else?
A subscription box.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. It comes to your house 4 times a year, and inside are full-size fashion, beauty, home, fitness, and wellness products for just $49.99 a box.
That sounds like 4 times the fun of a regular box.
Most boxes are fun, but this box is jam-packed with it. And like you said, 4 times the amount.
4 times the fabulous amount of fun.
Listen, do you love discovering new products? Are you a beauty and fashion maven constantly on the hunt for the next best thing? Ever pin something to your Pinterest board that you always wanted to try but never have? Then you must try Fabfitfun. Fabfitfun allows women everywhere to discover new products, as well as including rave review must-have brands that you know and love.
Gotta have that brand.
Gotta have that brand. And you know, it's not just for women, by the way. Let me just add that.
Oh no. Any type of person who appreciates all these things.
That's right. All these things and more. That's what's in the Fabfitfun box. I mean, you can get those beauty masks that we talked about, the lovely body wash. Who doesn't like a nice body wash? The Sponge Gel body bath sponge thing that has a lovely pear rinsing stuff inside of it. I think that's exactly what it says on the package.
Lovely
as well.
rinsing stuff.
Lovely rinsing stuff.
Lovely rinsing stuff.
Lovely rinsing, cleansing
Yeah.
stuffs.
Yeah.
Let's see. And again, they're full-size products. No sample sizes.
No.
And it's fantastic value. Most products' individual value is more than the entire cost of the box. And let's get into some of the names.
Sure. Scrapey's Dirt Gel, and then Bimington's Sport Cream.
How did you know that? You're not even looking at the sheet.
I just have a sixth sense for packaging.
You do, and you know, you love a gift, and you love giving a gift to yourself, and so I think you got yourself a gift at Fabfitfun, and you've been trawling through that box, getting that
right.
Gert Grime, right? The Gert Grime.
and the Whizzle Git.
That's right. In addition to Whizzle Git, you got the Glam Glow, you got the Beauty Blender, you got the Free People, you got the Vince Caruto.
Oh yeah, all
Yeah.
these high top of the
High top of the wigwam.
top shelf
Of the Shim Shams. That's right. Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
yeah. And then Grown Alchemist. Yeah, Pharmacy. That's spelled with an F. Which means that, you know, it's high-grade fashion. Tim Tams. Tarte, Foreo, Dr. Brandt. Not Mr. Brandt, but Dr. Brandt. Coriz, Kula, Pure One Imports, Kate Somerville, Rachel Pally, Perlice, Juice Beauty. I mean, hey, who doesn't like some Juice Beauty, right? And most excitingly, Rifle Paper.
Oh.
Everyone's favorite. So you can get this and so much more with your Fabfitfun subscription. And you know what? We have a little bit of incentive for you that might make it a little bit more exciting.
Is there a discount code, perhaps?
Amazing guess. That's incredible. You're like a clairvoyant with this stuff. It's fabulous. So sign up for Fabfitfun today. Fabfitfun boxes are amazing and always sell out. Use our code WV5 to get $10 off your first box. Go to fabfitfun.com to sign up and start getting the box for a life well lived.
That's WB5.
Not B, but it's good you clarified that. That's a good thing.
I've been very helpful on this ad.
Use promo code WV5 to get $10 off your first box. That's over $200 for only $39.99 because it's $49.99 minus the 10. Use our code WV5 to get $10 off your first Fabfitfun box.
Are you a big junkie whore?
Am I a big junkie whore? Yes. As a matter of fact, I am.
Glad you asked.
Are you a liberated sexual being? Is that too personal a question?
No, not at all. Not at all. I am I'm a liberated sexual being. I love sex, but the funny thing about age and time passing is I've gotten much more sensitive about sex, and to be quite frank, I really haven't had very much of it this last year.
Okay.
I think I've sort of lost the desire for just straight up hooking up, and I don't, and that's, and I'm totally fine with that. I'm totally fine with that, and I feel like, and maybe it's something that comes with age, but it feels maybe for the first time just over the last couple years that I don't feel like I'm missing anything when I'm by myself.
Oh,
that I don't feel like I'm missing anything when I'm on my own.
Sure.
That I actually really enjoy my own company, and don't, I don't get maudlin about, about. I would love a boyfriend. Like I would really, I would love to be in a relationship, but yeah, casual sex just doesn't. I'm not really drawn to it, and. I mean, not to say that I haven't had any the last couple years, but it's definitely not to the
extent that maybe
that it hasn't
previously.
in the past. Yeah.
What was the quote you said on Seth Meyers?
Yeah, where I was like, I have slept with a lot of people. And you really don't even realize how many people you've slept with. And I mean, this goes up to. I mean, this is
There's
just
only-
the tip of the iceberg. This book, but it's funny when you put it down on paper. You're like, oh, I'm not that big of a whore, and then you write it all, or even just the tip of the iceberg down, and you're like, good God,
You're just sketching out the names you remember.
Yeah. People are like, you're a slut. I mean, I do have to say, there's, it happens every once in a while, and this is really bad. And it happened the other night when I was at that party where I was just like, who is that guy? He's really hot. I mean, he looks really familiar. And this was going on in my head.
Buggered him.
And and I'm just like, who is that? I'm racking my brain. Did I like 2 minutes later? I'm like, oh, yeah.
Yeah, we right.
I mean, years,
Well,
this is
sure.
like-
Yeah.
So in that situation, would you, did you talk to him, or did you, or if you were to talk to him, how would that introduction be awkward at all, or
No,
not
at
at all. No,
not at all.
No.
Not at all.
Wait, would you say like, hey, remember we, or no?
No, just how you doing?
Okay.
Like, what's going
Yeah.
on? Like, I'm very, I'm socially, I'm a pretty
Adept.
or just
Natural.
I like to, I make people as comfortable as possible when I get it from my mom. My mom's sort of this very, very, very friendly, outgoing, just sweet Southern woman that sort of, she really does her best to kind of make everybody feel welcome and loved, and so I try to socially, I try to sort of embody
freedom.
My mother.
That's right.
With the being famous and all, do you? I'm sure you get people who want to just like ride your jock for the fame thing. Or
I don't know, but I don't think I'm really famous. I don't feel like I'm. I really don't feel. I mean, the famous, I think, is, I don't know. I don't personally feel famous.
Well,
I know other
Julia
people-
Roberts, honey, but you're famous. No, you don't feel famous at all.
I feel like gay famous in a way, but yeah, I don't know. I guess like I feel maybe known or notorious.
Notorious.
Infamous.
Infamous. Yeah.
Are there?
But you don't get people being weird at you.
Oh, very seldom, and
that's
usually
good.
they're very drunk,
Okay.
and I do my best to get away as quick as possible. But I always give people I really do give everyone. I give people the benefit of the doubt. I'm not. It's
nice.
just how, and you know what? It maybe sometimes bites me on the ass, or I'm wrong, or whatever. But that's just how I carry myself, and I don't.
Yeah.
I'm just not one of those. I don't listen to what other people say about people. I just, I really try not to make judgments. But When I do.
Oh, when the judgments come.
When I do.
Oh.
When I do.
When the jury comes back.
It's watch out, like, because I will roast.
Oh, they'll be roasty toasty, my friend.
Yeah. So it's there is a
Sid Luff is an animal.
She's an animal.
Invite me to the party.
I'm not even gonna.
Is that Judy Garland?
Yeah, it's Judy Garland.
It's been quoted many times.
Here's another. It's also time to put me to bed when I start playing the Judy tapes at a party.
Oh, that's exactly. Yeah.
That's when.
That's when things are getting really fun, I think.
But it's a little dark.
Yeah,
but I kind of, but I like, I like that. But
do you take good care of your skin? It looks like.
Oh, thank you. I was leaving the house this morning and I was like, I forgot to put moisturizer on.
Yeah,
but,
you look great.
Thank you, darling.
Yeah, really
thank
good
you.
for a white person.
You. I mean,
don't talk about my skin. I have psoriasis.
No. Yeah,
I do. My skin's fucked right now.
Really?
Yeah, but
it looks
do
great
Botox?
from here. I did, and I.
It doesn't. You don't look. You look very natural.
I did do Botox for a little while, and I've got this crinkle in the middle of my forehead that I should probably go try to do Botox again. And I liked it a little bit, but then I look back at pictures and I'm like, oh, I look like I've got dead eyes a little bit. Uh-huh. And about a year and a half ago, I had gone to a friend who we both went and got Botox together and kind of got the whole shebang done. And then I went and played some shows, and I couldn't move my forehead during the shows, which really drove me nuts. I mean, part of my performance is facial expression and where my eyebrows go in my head, and I'm screaming and I'm like, doing all the, I'm sweating and I could feel myself during the show trying to move my forehead, and it was not moving, and I was like, you know what? I'm not. I think that was the end of the Botox.
I remember the photo that you sent me. You were like, you just told me what was going on. I was like, well, let me see what would, and it was very
blank staring.
For some reason, Botox. I mean, I think it looks great on. On plenty of people, and on me, it gives me dead shark eyes.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
It gives me. I look back at pictures and I'm like, I have dead shark eyes in that picture. Like
Yeah. It's a weird thing. But yeah, you
know what drives me crazy though?
What does?
I do like porn. I'm just gonna say it. But it's. I mean, I go back and forth about porn, but I do occasionally watch pornography.
This is shocking. I don't know. I'm shocked.
I know. I am too. I'm just trying.
Scandalized.
I don't know if I can do this anymore.
Can you just a few? Let's just give it.
Don't
a few
touch
more
me.
Okay. I forgot. Listen, I forgot. I'm sorry. Just a few more minutes. We'll have a soda. Okay.
All right.
Maybe a cigarette and a
what
biscuit?
kind of porn?
Yeah.
I mean, I love.
Do you get into like crazy dark German fisting porn?
No. I really
well, then
don't.
get out.
No, I'm pretty like ham and cheese.
Okay.
No, it's like I love.
Did you say ham and cheese?
Yeah, I love
the egg McMuffin of porn.
I love Corbin Fisher and Sean Cody and like men.com.
Oh, like
and
corn-fed like Iowan bros.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But you know what? I've got to say, I watched whoever directed the last men.com release. Number one.
Was it Shishi LaRue?
No, I mean, God love Shishi LaRue. The cameras have gotten a little too HD.
Oh.
I'm just gonna say some butt pimples and
like microscopic.
I was just seeing way too much, and like
absolutely.
people's, they looked kind of peaked and I found it incredibly grotesque.
Yeah, it's gruesome, the detail.
Yeah, and there was something about that particular. I was like, they need to put that camera on another setting because this is just a little too. This is just a little too lifelike.
Yeah.
Well, it's beyond lifelike.
Yeah,
you know.
a little too up close and personal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it becomes it's like it gets into like a dermatological kind of detail.
Completely. Yeah. No, it gets
Medical.
medical.
Yeah, I think like the same thing with the drag queens going on television and then once we were invited to like these red carpet stuff and I was like, oh no. We're not. Our makeup is not red carpet
Designed for that.
No,
at
absolutely
all.
not.
Yeah, absolutely.
not. You look at the stock photos go up or whatever on Getty Images, and you see a close up on our makeup, and it's like, no, this is not.
And it looks insane.
Awful.
Because
awful.
it's
no matter how good you do it, it's still essentially spackle over sandpaper. So it's like, do you know what I mean? It's like it's not meant for that kind of viewing. It's just not.
No.
It's meant for a photograph that's going to be retouched and edited, or for a stage performance. And but the point is like we don't really need. You don't need to see the minutia of a person's like asshole like that.
Yeah, especially when they don't know about 10 skin.
Yeah.
It was just the super 4K HD vibes are. But back to the Botox, when one of my favorite porn stars gets noticeable Botox, I get really sad and disappointed. And I don't know, it changes something. And I'm just kind of like,
it's like when Melanie Griffith got the breast implants.
Yeah, can't jerk off to her anymore.
No, sorry, Bonfire of the Vanities was a hard out for me. We have questions from previous guests that we asked. The next guest.
Oh, great.
So,
Melanie Griffith has, sorry.
Well, you do the Melanie Griffith question first, and then
she wants to know, are you gay?
Laganja Estranja wanted to know who your favorite porn star is or what your favorite porn movie is. I think we're giving the option because who knows titles anymore?
Oh,
I do.
well.
I do.
You answer for him then.
I do some as well. I mean, my all-time favorite porn movie's got to be kind of one of my first, which is an old William Higgins 70s porn called Sailor in the Wild.
Oh, that sounds great.
It really is a classic.
Yeah.
It's got everyone's got that great 70s accent, that kind of like sort of slightly Baltimore, like 70s accent. And then there's this incredible scene where the lead guy, can I get explicit on here?
Please.
I would prefer if you didn't.
I'll turn your headphones down.
Yeah.
Is that all right? Okay.
Yeah.
The lead guy sticks his own dick up his ass and then gets double penetrated by another guy with his own dick up his butt.
That is,
and it's
really impressive.
It is.
I've never seen it done since.
Yeah, I've never seen that either.
And I just thought it was like super hot.
You know what I just saw not too long ago is a cam show, like a webcam show. You know, the guys who do like jerk off and
sure, yeah.
He put his own dingling up his butt, and then he ejaculated in there.
Wow.
Which I don't know how that's
Yeah.
possible, because it has to be not so hard.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
obviously.
Right, exactly,
Turn
yeah.
around.
Yeah, but it had a very long,
Sorry. Continue.
Very long penis, and then it was like it had some kind of rigidity. I guess it was It kind of like bent twice, and then it was jammed up there, and then
And then it's weird too to think of how the thrusting works.
Yeah, but he was kind of like pushing it
with his hand.
Yeah,
Okay,
he was kind of shoving it up there.
Did he have like an audible orgasm, and then his dick came out, and then the
spray
spurted out?
Well, I was like, is he? It seems like he was faking it, the orgasm, but he was just kind of like, oh, and then certainly there was
and then there was
a little surprise after that.
Little evidence.
Yeah, some evidence. So
some Santorum.
Yeah.
Now, do you remember? We'll have to get to your question for the next guest, but do you remember going to Cinephile?
Oh yeah,
and we bought the remnants of
like 100 like porn movies on VHS,
old school VHS.
Yeah, it was it's fantastic. I mean,
the archive that we have.
Yes,
significant.
Was it? Now I'm trying to remember. Was it from one of those movies? The music studio porn where the guy cuts lines on the table of his own bunk.
I see.
And
I think
then-
you've reimagined this. I went back and watched the clip. The guy's cutting cocaine, and the girl comes in, and she's like, "Oh, DJ Dan, you're my favorite, and I got a song." And he's like, "Baby, if you want your song played on the radio, you know what you got to do." And she starts sucking him off.
Yeah.
But this is after he's doing line after line of coke through like an empty Bic pen, like
Okay,
one of those.
yeah.
But I do like your reimagining of it. I think it shows the spark
I feel
and
like
magic in your
somewhere I
mind.
saw a woman doing lines of a guy's,
I bet that exists.
Semen.
Yeah, I don't think I gave that to you though.
Like wet?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh,
Yeah.
just snorting up the sludge. Okay.
But you remember the great musical delight that we discovered through.
What's the matter? You don't like you don't like a full-bodied experience?
It's a great song.
It's catchy.
Yeah,
It
it's
sticks in
really
your
good.
head.
I like the
yeah.
melody a lot.
Yeah.
Same here. And the vocal, I think, is very impassioned.
The best of both worlds. Hermaphrodite, when love's not enough.
When love's not enough.
Hermaphrodite, the ultimate pleasure. Whatever turns you on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Classic from Hugh Hefner's Brothers collection.
Hugh Hefner's Brothers collection. That's the thing. All those videos came from Hugh Hefner's brother passed away, and his wife brought in his entire porn collection.
And she said, I didn't even know he was into this stuff.
That's funny.
Meaning because there was a wide range.
Well, he probably wasn't even necessarily into it. I bet when you're Hugh Hefner's brother, you get everybody, you just get loads of porn swag.
But there was price tags on them from the pleasure chest.
Okay, well.
Well, wait, didn't you look up his name? What is his name? Roger Hefner?
No. I forgot now. Keith.
That's right, Keith Hefner. Yeah.
And his wife, Sandra Hefner.
What a dinner party that would have been. Yeah.
Wow. Damn.
Oh, let's talk a little bit about Dan Savage because
Yes.
you have a really interesting history with Dan.
Yeah, and you know what's funny? This conversation, I was just thinking about him as we were,
Getting
talking
ready
all
to-
this
yeah.
dirty talk.
Dirty talk. Dirty talk.
Yeah, no, I met Dan when I was 15 years old. I was calling into his radio show, 15, 16. I was I called a show like every week from a payphone.
Really?
Yeah, and
This is when you were living in Seattle, right?
I was living in Seattle. I was going to I was in the boarding house at this school, and I wasn't living with my parents. But I would call on the show and ask, and talk about, what I was going to do about my parents, because I was out at school, but I wasn't out to my mom and dad.
Yeah.
And so eventually he was just like, for God's sake, I'm sure your mom probably already knows, like, you just gotta. So I went to Las Vegas on spring break vacation with my mom and dad. This is my junior year of high school, and ended up coming out to my parents on vacation. Remember how I said I don't really like vacations because I needed some kind of excitement. I was like, what are we doing here? Like, I can't even do anything. I'm 16 years old. Like, I can't.
What was the show that you went to?
EFX starring Michael Crawford, the original Phantom of the Opera. And it was a retelling of H.G. Wells' The Time Machine.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah. So there was that whole kind of underground people thing going on. I feel like there might have been a couple different times that they went in, but I just remember the sort of, that was the story. And, I came out to my mom and dad that night.
Was it before or after the show?
It's before the show to my mom, and then it was an intense night. And then, my dad was really kind of staying out of it, and then my mom and I got in a fight afterwards, in a verbal altercation in front of the Haagen-Dazs in the food court of the MGM Grand Hotel. And you know what? It was tough for a second, but when I got back to Seattle, at the time I was working for like a queer youth outreach program where we would throw queer youth parties, and it was all sort of about passing on information about safer sex, and Dan was our guest host, and Dan used to do drag a long time ago, so it was Dan was in drag.
What was his drag name?
Danielle.
I think it was
Danielle Savage.
Sauvage.
Savage.
and he I approached him and I was like, I'm the kid who's been calling into your show for the last 6 months, and I just came out to my parents, and they're kind of freaking out, and that's how we met, and he's just kind of become family.
Yeah.
Cool.
He and his husband Terry, and I've known them now. It's 25 years we've known each
Holy
other.
shit.
25 years.
Wow.
And I was really fortunate when I was a teenager to have him and Terry just be there for me, and Dan really got to know my parents and introduced his mom to my mom, took her to her first PFLAG meeting, and
Wow.
if only every 16-year-old had a mentor like that. Like,
Sure.
He's such a brilliant man. I think he's a great American man of letters. He's a fantastic, prolific writer with he's a real thinker. So it was really inspiring to me as a young person to be friends with him and to sort of get a really positive attention from someone like that.
What did your mom say? Like, what was her issue?
I think that she was, I think my parents were very scared. This was 1990, this would have been 94, 95. And, which was a really very different time for gay men, for queer people. I think they were really scared for me. It was a scary time.
Sure.
And, but what they didn't, I was very active in the queer community, and I was very aware of the lay of the land, and I was involved in these organizations that were helping pass on the information of safer sex. I was very much like already sort of
Steeped in the
and knew what was going on, and was already part of gay culture. So I was a lot less naive than my parents probably thought I was.
Okay, you weren't some helpless little kid who's just like,
No. Yeah, I was a pretty I'd seen a lot by the time I was 16 years old.
because you were also an outsider in your high school, right?
Yes, for early high school, kind of when I was first coming out. Once I ended up in Seattle, my last couple years of high school, I really kind of blossomed and was in a great spot for.
And you could be gay and people would not care at high school.
The last couple years,
That's
I
great.
found a school. I mean, when I first came out, it was really dangerous, and I was in a place that I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have come out at Mountain View High School in Mesa, Arizona.
Shout out to Mountain View.
Shout out to Mountain View. And it's funny though. I've actually gotten messages from people that have been really moving. People that I don't know that are that have written me and been like, I was in your biology class, and I saw what was happening to you, and I never stepped in.
Oh wow.
I've gotten multiple messages from different people that sort of were there and saw. I was the school was 3,000 kids, just about 2,500 kids.
Okay.
And I was the only out student.
Yeah.
In the entire school.
Oh God.
So I just had I was a target.
Yeah.
Sure.
For love.
For I was a target.
He was so
for-
bombarded by love. He didn't know what to do with it. We all know what that's like, yeah?
Anybody ever any of the bro dudes ever try to like get you to suck their weenies? No.
Yeah. I'm trying. Maybe not though. I mean, definitely bro dudes in my lifetime, and
Sure.
and yeah, in my younger days in college. I sucked a lot of bro weenies in college.
Yeah, I don't remember a single out person in my high school experience. Not one. Nobody.
Wow.
It was just not really. Don't do it.
It wasn't the done thing.
It wasn't done.
I graduated high school in 96, and I came out in my sophomore year of high school, which would have been like 93.
Yeah.
92, 93.
And it seems like almost a century's worth of difference between that era
my
and now.
God.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, just between 95 and 2015, like holy shit. Holy
Yeah.
shit! Yeah,
Seismic
Those 20
change.
I
years.
mean, even like 2000, I think about Scissor Sisters and, 2004 when we came out and 2019 we're coming up to now. And just like the cultural landscape for, what we were doing. And then you look at like the cultural significance of Drag Race and the impact that that's had on the world and to young people and kids. And it's great.
And to people identifying and feeling not alone because of that.
Yes.
I really like the growing amount of people, like boys especially, who are they seem to be uninterested in identifying with a sexual preference. Like, I'm not gay, I'm not straight, I'm like they say they're pansexual or whatever. But it's less of it's much less fixated on a gender or on a specific like you're gay or you're straight, or there's like that dichotomy, which is very cool.
And I think that that's more realistic. I think because I think everybody's on a spectrum. I unfortunately am on the far side of the spectrum. On the Kinsey scale, I'm a 6, and I really wish I wasn't. But I do think that there's plenty of people out there that aren't a 1 or a 6. In fact, I think probably like pardon the expression, but a buttload of people.
I think that's the appropriate term.
I think a lot of people land somewhere around there. So it makes a kind of sense. I think that we've had to identify as gay and lesbian for survival in a way in the past, and now I think that that's probably changing, and that's probably younger people feel different about it, and it's very interesting. I think it's sexy. I live in New Orleans part-time, and one of the things I love about just the culture down there is, especially kind of sort of the local. There's this great kind of like burlesque queer sex worker universe down there that's really great, and it's very super fluid, and there's the guys down there. You can't really pigeonhole anybody.
They can't really pin them down, and
I think that's really hot.
I do too.
I think that's very sexy.
I do too. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, I fit right into a shoebox, unfortunately. But what were you gonna say?
I agree. I think it's really sexy, and also I've observed that there's many guys that I've met in the last year or so. Like, your brain wants to put them in a shoebox because you want to try on those shoes. But
they thigh high?
It's like, but you're like, well, you said you're not gay, but I mean, are you? What kind of guys are you attracted? And but it's really what I've observed is like, there's this one particular. I haven't had a crush on somebody in a long time, but it's like it's kind of this open-ended. It's not like I'm not trying to avoid the question of like what's my sexual preference. I'm not in a hurry to answer it. Like that kind of attitude, which I really like. It's like being open. It's just like being open,
and I think that
being truly open.
There's the last few years I've had a really amazing friendship that was sort of different than anything I've ever had with somebody, with a guy that was non-sexual, yet was, incredibly intimate, and someone that basically is, for lack of a better word, I don't mean to pigeonhole him, but a straight guy, and we've had a very awesome, special friendship that definitely goes beyond. It's like in another territory, but it's kind of unlike anything I've experienced before, and it actually was really great for me because it was sort of what I needed most in my life at that time. I mean, I just split up from my partner of 11 years, and here was somebody that I could be incredibly intimate with, that loved me and loves me, and likewise, and just being able to spend time with somebody in this sort of like almost like boyfriends in a way, but not having to but the sort of the sexual side of it is it's not there. But I didn't at that time. It's like I didn't need to be having a sexual relationship with somebody.
Sure.
I needed that kind of like intimate attention and that real like love from someone.
And the close acceptance, as well, especially.
And it's just interesting because I think that it's in this moment in time now. I think men or people are a little bit more open to different kinds of. Because if you were to look at that from the outside, it'd be like, oh, those those guys are fucking, dude. Yeah, they're like hooking up, they're like, what's up with that,
or like he doesn't really know.
Yeah, or he's like
he's
confused,
in denial.
But no, I think that there's definitely a lot more elbow room now for all kinds of relationships that aren't even necessarily sexual between men.
Yeah,
You mentioned New Orleans. So let's talk a little bit about how your love affair with New Orleans began.
Yeah.
Because you had just split from Chris.
I just split from my partner Chris. And this was over 3 years. It was 3 years ago in October. I just always wanted to go down there. I always wanted to live down there. I think it's really I think just to go visit there, it's hard to not have fantasies about living there.
Yeah.
Well, as long as you get the right Airbnb.
Yeah, and as long as you're and don't go in August.
Don't go in August.
I've done both of those. I've gotten the bad Airbnb and gone in August.
Oof.
Or July rather, which is worse.
Yeah.
July is pretty. The summer's pretty rough there.
You almost saw me totally pass out.
Oh, we got woozy, didn't we?
Oh, yes, we did.
Yeah, the summertime can get in the afternoons. It can get so you really can't be. The humidity and the heat is so high that you just to be outside for 15 minutes, you can pass out.
It's rotten.
And I was wearing jeans. I hadn't even gotten the memo sort of about that's when you were like, let's go get shorts. I was like,
let's get your pair of shorts.
I was in full fucking drag outside.
Oh,
it was like
you were?
Yeah,
what?
It was rotten. Even at night, it was unbearable.
You got to be. You have to be able to wear. My look down there is like literally like boxers and Birkenstocks and a tank top.
Yeah,
and that's it. I mean, you really can't have on a lot of clothes at all.
Brian, were you there in August in drag?
I think I was there in. No, I was there. I did a tour for this makeup company where it was Naked Heat, and they thought it would be really fun to have a drag queen host it outside. We did Las Vegas outside. It was 108 degrees.
Oh, fabulous.
We did it was insane. We did New Orleans, and then
was that the tagline, the makeup that'll melt right off your face?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's insane.
It's what was it called? Naked Heat.
Naked Heat.
So hot.
Yeah, so hot you won't be wearing it anymore. So dumb. Anyways.
Oh.
But so when did you? So you lived there part time. What does that mean?
Every few years I have to shake things up, and I'm just about to do it again right now. But I just left. I got a one-way ticket and went down there.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and my buddy Daniel Nardicchio, a very wonderful, infamous New York party promoter and
Night of
bar
1,000
owner.
Stevies amongst many other parties.
Oh, cool.
Which is having its first New Orleans.
Really?
Yes, in February, which is
that
really
should be
exciting.
subdued and low key.
Very.
Has anybody ever showed up to that night dressed as Stevie Wonder? But they would get the joke is that they would never know they were wearing the wrong costume.
Exactly. Yeah.
That'd be funny. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
And I lived in his apartment. He let me just kind of take over his apartment for like this really cool in the Maroney, and I just fell in love with it and started writing my book and started writing music again and writing songs that I liked and making new friends, and it just felt like home to me. So I lived there all that winter, and then I came back to LA. I think it was in like March, and and got back home to my house, and I remember I made myself breakfast, and I put it. There's a local radio station there called WWOZ that plays all 24 hours, no commercials, of all kind of like New Orleans and local music and stuff. And I put WWOZ on, and there was some second line music playing, and I sat down at my breakfast table and was just so overwhelmed with emotion. I burst into tears. I cried. I realized I had no plans immediately to go back, and I realized I missed it so much. I just knew that I had to listen to that, and I had to kind of listen to the call there. And I bought a little apartment there 2 months later.
Cool.
And I've got like a pad down there, so I'll go down. I'll go down for a month at a time, 2 months at a time, just when I need it. And sometimes, I really kind of based out of there for this last spring and summer. Now I'm kind of in LA for the winter, and I'll head back there when but it's I want to get old there.
Okay. Yeah. It's a beautiful city.
It's wonderful.
Unique.
It's unique. It makes me really happy. I don't know if I'll ever meet a boyfriend down there.
Excuse me?
Necessarily.
Do you have something against Louisianans?
No. It's a small town. There's a lot of people, but most of them are tourists, and it's a small town.
And plus, with the anger problem.
Oh
yeah, my rage.
Yeah. Oh God. Louisiana. I have a friend who's from Lafayette, Louisiana, and he tells me a lot of what it's like. He's gay, but he got out. But he tells me about the kind of the local color of the people. They are just rotten. They are just backwoods pieces of shit.
It's very conservative. Although I got to say about Louisiana, and something that I'm really interested in exploring more is the rural areas of Louisiana up by Lafayette, and when you get outside of those cities, oh my God, it is staggeringly beautiful. It's just one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen, and I love driving outside of New Orleans and kind of just looking at the landscape, because there's nothing like it.
Reminds me of rural Mississippi. Remember rural Mississippi?
Oh my God.
We had a little car trip.
Yeah,
what were you doing in rural Mississippi?
Well,
Craig and I ran out of gas. I was driving I just learned to drive stick.
Yeah, and you just got the car the day before and just learned the day before.
And then drove us from Louisville, Kentucky to Mississippi. Then we ran out of gas.
Because the truck he bought was so old that there's none of the modern conveniences you're used to, like a ding, 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 or like tank.
No, it immediately was like, it's just dropped to nothing. And I was like, oh my God, we got to pull up for the next exit. And we just turned the wrong way and ended up going. We had on a map, thinking it was a gas station. And it was in the middle of the night. And we rounded this corner, and it was like
farm silos.
It was farm silos.
Oh, no.
And no service.
And the car just The car just stopped, and there was no cars.
No, we waited at least 15 to 20 minutes later. One car came by, just zoomed by, and then one person did kind of stop after we figured out, let's call the police.
Oh,
and they were like, "Y'all all right?" And we were like, "We're good." And also, there was an Obama sticker on the back of the car.
Yeah.
Oh, you tear that off right away.
There was no Obama sticker.
I did bring that idea up.
Yeah.
The cop he was okay. I did get frisked.
You boys ever been in any trouble before?
Is that
when you hear that in rural Mississippi, a certain shiver goes down your spine.
You're looking to get in some trouble?
What kind of trouble, officer? Oh, God.
He frisked you?
He did, yeah, because he put me in the car to go get some gas.
Okay.
So he was like, I got to frisk you before.
Okay.
Other thing about those old
car.
trucks is that it's not exactly the easiest thing to get to the gas receptacle in the car. So in pouring the gas can into the car, Jason covered his whole pants and boots
covered in gasoline.
And my only regret is that I'm shining the flashlight on him, and then later I went, I could have filmed that whole thing. We have a lovely memento from our side of the road adventure, which I'll insert into this.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that was quite I just remember Craig going, oh my God. Oh my God. I was like, Craig, it's going to be fun. We're going to be fine.
I had a
We're
moment.
gonna-
I did. I had a moment. I had
Oh my God.
And then then later I was like, "What are you doing? Take your boots off. Throw them in the back." And you were like, "They're fine." I was like, "We're gonna go up like a firework."
And we had blankets in the thing. You know, if worse came to worse, I was like, we'll just sleep here. It's
No, that's
fine.
true. He was very good about it. He was like, we have blankets, there's some food, and we have cigarettes, so we'll be fine. Yeah. And it all worked out in the end.
There you go.
So we're at the later part of our trip to New Orleans from Kentucky. You can only see your face by the light of the flashers.
The hazard lights
are on. Now, what's going on?
We pulled off onto an off ramp because we were running out of gas and took a wrong turn, and I don't know where we are in the middle of the night, and we're out of gas. And I just called the police to see if maybe they could send somebody, but she wasn't sure what county we were in.
Oh, dear Lord. Oh, dear Lord.
We'll be fine, though, I think.
Yeah.
We've got water, we've got food, we can pee in the bushes. We've got a blanket.
No, that's true. We got a blanket. Yeah.
Oh, man. You can see the stars.
That's true.
Do you like LA?
Moving here from New York 6 years ago was a really tough transition.
Okay.
I do love it now, and I love living here. I feel like it complements New Orleans in a great way. Like, it's a great split between the two because they're just so completely different that when I do get tired about certain elements of either of the cities, the other city remedies that really fast. I love the East Side. Like, I love the East Side of LA. I very seldom go over to like Santa Monica or kind of over to the beach. I'm not a big beach person.
Okay.
But I love I love the gay scene here. I think there's just a lot of great people. There's a lot of great queer musicians here. I feel I don't know. I have got a lot of great friends here, and I've really enjoyed it. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's the weather. You can't beat the weather.
Yeah,
I think that's like the most important thing.
Do you ever though feel like, I don't know how to describe this, when it's sunny all the time? Do you remember when, you're in elementary school and you're sick at home and you're inside and you really want, or you've pretended to be sick?
Oh yeah.
And you're inside and it's like a sunny day outside and everyone's kind of at work or school, so there's like nobody in this. It feels like no one's really around, and you feel really isolated. And it's like, but still, it's a beautiful day, but you can't sort of be out in it. I don't know. Sometimes I have that. I don't know how to describe it, but I have that feeling sometimes in LA.
It sounds like Christmas in LA when you're just home at Christmas.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've experienced this. There's a tension between the weather outside does not reflect at all my internal weather, and like if I'm having a bad day or in a bad mood and I go outside, fuck it, what the fuck is it so sunny today? That kind of, that. I was like, you know what? It's like enough.
Yeah.
Like I've enough. The sun becomes like it just becomes annoying and grating in it, and then I feel like Mother Nature's bullying me into being happy.
No, I think it's important to have rainy days, and one of the things I love about Louisiana is the weather is incredibly dramatic.
Is it really?
Oh God.
And especially in the summertime. And it's very temperate, and it's not. And there's cold snaps in the winter, but it never, they're pretty quick. But I do love the drama of of the weather, and just like these downpours and lightning, and there's a lot that can happen really quickly there. Obviously, it's a very sort of volatile place weather-wise, and I like that about it there.
Yeah, I like that. This is the fucking opposite of that.
Oh yeah, but you did note that after our little stretch of cold, that today it was kind of charming. That in December,
I think, I mean, most of the time, I like it when you can't feel the weather. Like when you walk outside and you don't feel that there's like you're just like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I prefer that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't like the. If I had to live in London, I would commit suicide in 2 months.
You spent a good long time in London, right? Especially when the first album came out.
And the cold is the kind of cold there. It just gets into your marrow.
Yeah.
It's just like it's. It sort of gets into the houses, and it's drafty everywhere, and you can't. It's really hard to like get warm.
Another thing that you two have in common is that at a certain point on tour, your outfits stink. And I'm thinking in particular about the Nightwork tour, where you basically wore neoprene.
Oh my God! It smelt like I had like just completely peed myself and like lived in it, like in a dumpster for like days. That's how, like, neoprene is not a stage material. It's just not, because you sweat in it and it's really gnarly. But it's, I mean, yeah.
I've never smelled bad in my life. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. I mean, I have to wear a fucking snowsuit, and I sweat much more than the average person. Yeah, and it's disgusting. After one night, it's disgusting. It's so gross. And like I've had to put on been on a tour, and I've had to put on tights that are still wet with sweat from the last night.
It happens to me too. It's disgusting.
It's so gross.
And not only that, like, I mean, mine end up smelling like gangrene.
Yeah,
or what I imagine gangrene to smell like. I mean, it smells like you're putting a dead body over on yourself.
Yeah.
And then you hit the stage lights.
Yeah.
Well, then you hit the stage, and then you're smelling yourself the whole show, and it's so gross. I had to lately in the shows I've been doing. I've been going out in the audience, and I actually made an announcement. I was like, I'm really sorry. I was like, I smell so bad. And after the show, actually, a couple guys were like, you did really you actually did smell really bad.
Yeah. It's I mean, thankfully, I have so many layers most of the time, and I try to engineer my costume so that the outer layer, or the most important layer, is not in contact with either my bare crotch or my armpits. So I do the horse bath, and it really helps. And I've now used like fragrances that complement rather than like fight the stank. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like woody or like earthy Tom Ford fragrances are really good for like masking, but also complementing the BO.
That's good to know.
Yeah, like floral is not any good. Like, or like that kind of stuff. It's just going to give like stank flowers.
Yeah.
But if a human being ever had to smell my gaff, which is like the tucking panty, after 2 weeks of no washing and wearing, it's like I don't know what would happen.
You might like it's. I
think your face might fold in on itself.
Yeah,
like
it'd be like a David Cronenberg
collapse.
Film.
It is, in like I am so like I'm a gross person, but in my own smell is like it doesn't. I become like I'm like. That is very interesting. Like it's so bad.
Yeah.
It's so disgusting. But it seems dangerous. It seems dangerous.
Yeah.
Like the gangrenous thing. It seems like this probably is harmful.
It's funny you mentioned that, because
Did you get gangrene?
I had this this whole last tour. I just had this one embellished leotard.
Oh, God.
That was a little too tight. And I ended up with, and I mean, this is just gross, so I'm just gonna, I ended up with the most extreme, jock-itch, basically.
Oh, sure. Okay. Yeah.
That it laid me out for it was horrible, and took serious I mean, it took serious attention to.
Wow.
Didn't it blossom into sort of a full body?
MRSA? MRSA?
No. It didn't. I don't really know what that was.
That went away on its own.
No, but the body does weird things when you're just like exhausted and like, and doctor's like, I don't know what the fuck that is.
Always
Like,
great to hear.
And also, like, you're doing weird shit and wearing bizarre stuff. Like, like, it's a combination of things that, like, most normal people don't ever do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What's so gross about, like, I mean, this conversation is really disgusting.
Well,
but
It's okay.
it's our audience
okay.
is used to that.
What's so gross is like, and I'm sure you're in situations like this as well. When like playing festivals, it's not like there's showers. Like,
Oh, right.
at
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
festival.
No, yeah.
So like you go out and you basically have to just kind of like towel off.
Yeah.
And like put, and then get back on the bus and go to sleep. Do you know
so
what I
your
mean?
cot is smelly as well.
You can't. There's. It's really hard to like bathe sometimes
Sure.
when you're like out on the road, which is, I mean,
Oh, hang on one sec.
somebody just knocked.
Yeah. There was the gross police.
Hi guys, this is Sam Sparrow. I just wanted to get in touch. Love the show. Big listener. I just had a quick question. Actually, this one's for you, Craig. It's kind of been on my mind for a while. Are you gay? Because it's kind of hard to tell sometimes. Anyway, let me know when you can. I mean, it's not a big deal. Whatever. Bye.
Have you ever thought about singing? We got to talk about your album.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I would love to.
Yeah, so your fabulous album, which we've sort of hinted at before, which is some of the material that's on it, you started writing in New Orleans.
I did, yeah, and it's an 11-song album. It runs just under 45 minutes.
Thank God.
And well, I think it's
Jesus
important.
Christ.
I think it's important to. I believe. I mean, I love the album format, and I know some people think it's dead.
Really?
Some people do think it's it's not really how people listen to music anymore.
Okay.
But I love albums, and I listen to a lot of vinyl, and it was important to me to kind of make a traditional album, and I made it in a traditional way with every song is one live take with a bunch of people playing together.
Yeah.
And it was all recorded onto tape before it ended up in Pro Tools.
Sure.
So it's got a real sound to it, and it's kind of just like how I always dreamed of making a record. So in certain ways, it's kind of the record that I've always wanted to make. I'm really, really proud of it.
I think it's groovy.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I'm kind of partial to it myself,
Thanks.
actually. Yeah.
I've got to say though, now I'm, with all the limitations I kind of put on myself with the record, and because there was a philosophy kind of behind the making of it, and in the way that it was made. I'm excited to like make some dance music again, and excited to I've been writing again, and sort of I don't know. There's kind of another direction I'm kind of going in at the moment that I'm really excited about. There's gonna actually be new music coming out sooner than later.
Would one of those new tracks possibly be a duet with someone that we're all quite fond of?
Mariah Carey?
No.
Known by one name,
you never know.
In totally unrelated news, you have a very exciting tour coming up in Australia.
I do have an exciting tour coming up in Australia
With Mariah Carey?
With Mariah Carey.
It's the exhaustion and dehydration tour.
With the children's choir.
You love a children's choir.
I love a children's choir. It really is. If like that, it's just such a good move to put that on a song or an album.
Sure.
Just when the children's choir comes on, it really just.
Well, they're the future.
They
Yeah.
are the future.
Yeah.
No, seriously, I fucking hate children's choirs on records.
Thank God one of your songs didn't end up with the children's choir on it that you co-wrote with someone else. That would have been terrible.
That would have been terrible.
No, but you are going on tour with Kylie Minogue.
I am going on tour with Kylie Minogue. Yeah, we're doing an arena tour in Australia.
That's so cool.
And I'm so excited about it. It's going to be I think by the time this goes up, they're just announcing another Sydney date.
Oh, good.
And
So that's 2 or 3 dates. in Sydney?
I think we're doing 2 shows in Sydney.
Great.
And
Our plan is to be there, by the way.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. It's going to be so much fun. I'm really, really excited. And just I think both of our records, Golden and this record, have a lot in common in their own way. She made her record, and I mean, we were both kind of in similar places in our lives as far as getting out of relationships and kind of finding finding the versions of ourselves now and sort of reassessing where our lives are at. And she's just always been a great friend, and I love her very much, and I think I think it's going to be a really it's a lot. We've known each other for 15 years, and it's going to be a good time.
She seems so cool.
She's wonderful. She's a really, really she is a good woman. She's a kind
petite
little
5 foot in a whisper.
Yeah, and she loves what she does, and she's not there's nothing what I love about Kylie, she doesn't have any airs about her. She's got a lot of passion for what she does, and she's just a really wonderful person.
I watched it was so strange. I don't know what the hell was wrong with me, but I watched a concert footage of her doing All the Lovers with the fountains. Did you
yeah. That was
and I cried.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, that was the
so beautiful.
That was the Aphrodite.
Yeah. Oh my God.
And you've written a couple really classic songs with her that
we've written a bunch of
people might
stuff.
know.
Yeah, we've written a bunch of stuff together over the years, and
I Believe in You, White Diamond.
Yeah, there's all kinds of there's fun little there's a whole bunch of
Unreleased?
of demos, unreleased, that are really cool. Someday that'll see the light of day.
We have to have you ask a question for an upcoming guest, John Grant.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God.
Yeah, John Grant's coming here Friday.
Awesome. God, I just got to interview John Grant, actually. And
so you've used up all your questions.
I did have a whole list of questions. God, what?
You could pass along the favorite porn star one if you want.
We talked about porn.
Oh, okay. So that's off the list. Thanks a lot. We got nothing left.
Maybe who's your favorite relative that has passed away?
Oh, that's a good one. We'll start with that one too. That'll get us right into it. Yeah.
How about this? What is your most shameful extravagance?
Oh,
that's a good one. I like that. What's your most shameful extravagance?
But by the way, shameful, and this is the side note. Shameful. I don't mean to be shaming anybody. By shameful,
guilty pleasure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's what I mean by I mean shameful in a fun way.
Yeah.
Shameful extravagance sounds like a rich person's guilty pleasure. Like
right.
Buying that jet and then burning it.
It's like a very, very wealthy alcoholic is just eccentric.
Or just it could just seriously be like, what is your greatest extravagance in life that you use to make yourself feel good, that you don't necessarily need. It could be an experience, it could be an object, it could be
a very expensive silver leather trench coat.
Yeah.
How expensive?
That I've worn twice.
Oh, well, you got good use of it, though.
I really
That's great.
did.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for
How
that.
much was it?
I don't. You know what? I don't.
Over $10,000.
The funny thing is, I keep the price tag in the pocket just to remind me what a fucking asshole I was for buying it in the first place.
Yeah.
Life lessons.
Who was the designer?
It is a Dries Van Noten coat. Anyway,
so you already have so for Christmas, don't get you one of those. So I was thinking about stink and smell again, and I remembered that another one of your longtime friends and mentors refers to you sometimes as a ponger.
As a ponger. Yeah, well, I used to not wear deodorant at all.
Really?
You dabbled with that again last year, if I recall.
Did I really?
Yes, you did.
I think maybe in Kentucky.
Yeah, there. And then you brought that back to L.A. too, though. You went living the full mountain man lifestyle.
Yeah, I got a little rugged.
Did you get into stank on other people?
Year.
Like in a man's situation.
I like it when I like a little a fresh musky smell.
Okay.
Yeah, a little bit. I like it when somebody smells good like that. Like, oh, you smell good. You know, that kind of smelling good.
Yeah.
But no, there was a time in my life, probably about 12, 14 years ago, when when you mention someone notorious or someone's, there's always that person like, oh, I met Sting a few years ago, and Lord, he smelled so bad. Not that I'm just saying, I'm just using that as an example. I never met Sting.
Although
I've
heard those rumors about Madonna.
Well, I think they just go.
That she stinks?
There's been a couple people that have said that.
I think they fly around for a lot of people. But I think I must be one of those people that
on the stink list.
On the stink list that people have, because like God, I just didn't care. I was just like, I smelled and I was like, fuck you. Like, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I was very...
Would you bathe?
Yeah, definitely bathed. I just wouldn't use deodorant.
Once a day?
Yeah. Because I love
showering. Smell bad.
I love showering.
Oh, then what the hell?
Yeah.
Couldn't have smelled that bad.
Well.
Damn.
Oh, Lord.
Can you name 3 foods that you absolutely hate?
I don't like mushrooms.
Okay.
I don't like clams.
Okay.
No shit.
Or oysters.
Okay.
They got and I don't like couscous.
Okay.
Now, there's one story that we really have to get into before you go, and it's back to New Orleans. It's back to Susie's house, and it's all about your little friend that gave you a visit in the middle of the night.
Oh, you got your period?
On my first 2 nights in New Orleans, when I first moved to New Orleans, I was hooked up with this woman that I'd never met, named Susie Jagger Richards, who's this just amazing. She's fabulous.
Yeah.
Lives in the Garden District, and she has this kind of apartment below her house that she graciously let me stay in when I first got there, because Daniel's apartment wasn't ready for another kind of 7 or 10 days. And my first night in there, I've experienced sleep paralysis, and I have some sleeping issues. I talk a lot in my sleep and whatnot, but I have had sleep paralysis, but I've had sleep paralysis before, and this was way more extreme than that. I was woken up in the middle of the night by a cat jumping on the bed behind me. I felt a cat jump on the bed, and I was like, oh my God, that's a cat. And then I was like, wait a minute, there's no cats in this room. And then I was like, oh, I can't move anything. And then I realized it wasn't a cat, but it was a knee getting onto the bed, and someone was behind me, and I was just completely immobile, and I was terrified, and a hand reached over my right shoulder, and started playing with my left nipple.
You had a sexy sleep paralysis?
I didn't feel, sexed up, but I was scared. I was scared, and finally willed enough energy to throw it off of me and turn the light on, and I was terrified, and I couldn't go back to sleep. And it was just really, it was scary. And the next day I was calling my friends and calling, my ex-partner that I'd just broken up with, and I was like, Chris, told him what had happened. He's like, babe, don't tell anybody this.
Oh my God.
He was like, I hope you're not telling a whole bunch of people. And I was like, well, if that, I was like, that if that was just in my head, then that was really intense. So I went back to bed the next night, and I woke up again with I was on my front with one hand under my pillow and the other kind of up by my head.
Okay.
And I felt someone getting on the bed, this time from the foot of the bed, and I could not move again. And the sensation was, it gives me goosebumps thinking about it. It was so scary. I was like, this thing has it's back. Like this, the same like
this thing likes me.
The realization that it wasn't just my imagination.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Suddenly it was like, oh
Yeah.
shit! Like I didn't just dream this up. This is happening again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it climbed up on the bed and wrapped his legs around my waist and had totally straddled me and had put, was like leaning like on
forearm on your back.
On my back. Yeah. And I was so scared, and I once again conjured the energy to throw him off me, and as I turned, I saw him for a brief second, and he was a petite man with blonde hair, and he was there for 1 second and then kind of vanished under, into. He just disappeared.
It was me.
And
are you that much detail, like the blonde hair and everything?
Yeah.
Wow, that's insane.
It really scared me. And the next day, I was just totally freaked out. And I went to, I went and got some sage, and my friends were like, turn a broom handle 3 times around, and you know what I mean. Yeah. And I asked Susie, I was just like, is there any? And she's like, no, there's never been any hauntings here. We were right around the corner from cemetery number 1, though. And I really do believe that whatever it was, found me. I mean, I was exhausted. I was vulnerable. I had just broken. I was really in a low place, and I think whatever it was, sort of found me. I think it was a neighborhood ghost. I don't think it was a house ghost. But it was a gay ghost, definitely. And I think it was, like wanting to have a good time.
Sure.
And
then you just brutally rebuffed him.
Well, I said to him the next night before I, went to bed, I was just like, I see you. I love you. I am not what you're looking for, though. Yeah. You need to get away from me. Do not
I have
touch
baggage.
me.
You don't know what you're getting into here. I got this anger problem.
I'm not ready.
Yeah.
I'm not ready.
I'm solid. You're not. Yeah.
And then and he never came back again. And I don't know what I would have done if he did come back for a third night. I think I might have left New Orleans. But I do love, like, even though it was a really scary experience, I'm really happy that I experienced it, just because it was so wild.
Yeah.
And also I kind of like that, New Orleans is a witchy city.
Yeah.
There's a lot of vibes, and there's a lot of there's a lot of shit going on down there, and I felt like the city kind of pulled out a little welcome wagon for me.
That's so cool. That's so cool. I love that.
Scary times.
Mm-hmm.
Well, on that note, Brian, do you have any further questions?
No, I want to say thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I had a great time.
It's been such a pleasure having you on.
I had a lot of fun.
Same here.
Thank you.
Yeah, and what song would you like to close out with? We always like to end with the number.
Let's end with oh God.
The choice is yours. Anything in the world.
Well, why don't we play one of your songs?
Oh, no? Yeah. Well, he's got some songs. That's right.
Yeah, let's
the one I just listened to. Hold on, it's the Everything I'll Ever Need.
That's a classic one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do Everything I'll Ever Need.
Yeah, it's got a moving message. It's got a good beat.